Now today I have a very beautiful book to show you. It's Fashion Illustration, Inspiration and Technique. Now I could talk to you with beautiful words and phrases to describe this book, but I think the beauty lies within the book in the illustrations. So first thing I want to say, the cover's beautiful. It feels really, really nice. When we open up the book, the first thing we see or feel is that the pages are lovely and thick. They've got a slight sheen on them, they're really smooth, and they show off the illustrations beautifully. I am so pleased that the publisher used beautiful paper in this book because it really makes a difference to the illustrations. And we have here, we can see several reprints of this book. It was first published in 2011 and this edition was 2021. Now because it's been reprinted so many times, we can see that it's obviously been a very popular book, just as popular as it was when it first came out, and I think it is absolutely stunning. So we've got introduction, the fashion figure, the figure in detail, dressing the fashion figure. We've also got illustrating men and illustrating children, which is good because some fashion books just concentrate on women's fashion. A really lovely section on fabric rendering techniques, and then we've got exploring media, model drawing, inspiration and mood and design, and 144 lovely pages. So we have the introduction there, a little bit about Anna, and then we move into the fashion figures. So if you know anything about fashion drawing, you'll know that the body is constructed with 10 heads rather than the 8 that is normal for regular life drawing. And this is all nice and clear and easy for you to understand, so you can get on with your actual illustrations, learn how to do the different poses. What you will need to know is a little bit about how to actually use the media, whether you're using pencils or ink or markers. So this book concentrates on the actual fashion illustration rather than teaching you how to use the different types of pens and paints. But you will see the pictures and the illustrations are absolutely beautiful. All of these illustrations here, they're very clear and easy to follow. I love this where it shows lines, beautiful movement lines. I think every single colour illustration is really lovely. The poses are great. You've got lovely soft colours here. Faces, that's a very good section as well. I like the section on faces. A little bit about shading. We've got hats and hair. Lovely bit here on colouring the face and skin tones. Such beautiful colours in this book. We move on to the arms and hands and legs and feet, accessories, and then we get the section on dressing the fashion figure. So it's clothes are part of the page composition. That's a really good thing to know. Body and garments. Fashion layers. I just love every single colour illustration in here. I think they're absolutely stunning. Dressing with attitude. We have this really helpful fashion dictionary on different styles of clothing to help you. I have quite a few pages there, so everything that you can think of is probably covered in here. More on accessories, and then we have another great section on page composition, layout variations. That's something that you possibly don't know if you're starting out with your fashion illustration, so that's a really helpful thing to have. Very nice. Then we move on to illustrating men. As I mentioned before, it's great to have all different figures in this book and not just women. I think every illustration is beautiful, and we have a little bit here on children. Children's clothing can be great fun. Lots of different styles there. And then we move on to this beautiful section that I think is absolutely wonderful on fabric rendering techniques. Again, the illustrations are beautiful. This on textures, really great advice here on textures and how to create the different textures. And then in this section here, Anna talks about how you can best create the textures, which sort of media is going to work best, examples of patterns. different types of fabric, every type of fabric you can think of really here. Look at these illustrations are absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. The colour schemes are so lovely in this book. Shine, oh dear, it just really makes you want to start doing your own illustrations. I think this section is just wonderful, absolutely brilliant. It's the best I've seen on fashion illustration, and it's a joy just to flick through this book, even if a day when you're not actually drawing, just to get ideas. So it covers everything you need to know about your illustration, and then it moves on to exploring media. So we have a nice section here with examples of how you can use different media, coloured pencils, markers and pens, watercolour, gouache. Now I grew up in the era where we called gouache. I know that in a lot of other countries and a lot of younger people now called gouache, but to me it'll always be gouache, and you can create some beautiful effects with it. Collage here, and look at this, novelty techniques. It's just such a beautiful book. So I think, you know, for me, this is the nicest fashion illustration book that I have, and I always like to show you the best of the books that I have. Look at this, Inspiration, Mood and Design, a design journal. This is absolutely wonderful. So I hope that you will like this book that I've just showed you through, and if it's something that you're interested in, I really do believe that this is a brilliant book. And you know, don't be put off because you think, I could never do that. It's all about learning the techniques and practicing and drawing all the time. Now, we can't all be famous illustrators and designers, but you can certainly have a lot of fun. So take a look at fashion illustration, and I think you will love it as much as I do.